the movie starts, and when the movie starts, you see in its entirety a donut, but you find out the whole of the donut is actually another donut in itself, but that inner donut also has a hole in it that is in itself yet another donut, all encompassing as one donut. But now, it's like an onion. You peel back the layers of the onion and you dig deeper into the onion by peeling back layer after layer of this gargantuan onion, and I lost my train of thought.
Everyone is in danger.
All right, when's the murder mystery start?
Today we have Glass Onion. Technically it's Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, but I mean just Knives Out, Glass Onion, soon to be, I don't know, Purple Daffodil. Like, let's go. I was actually really excited for this one. I don't think I ever did a review for it because it came out, I think, before I really got into a more consistent reviewing format, but this is basically a sequel to Knives Out. Remember that? Marketing from Knives Out was enormous. It was huge. But yeah, I've been loosely following the production of this. I remember when the announcement was made about this, basically saying that Netflix picked up Knives Out, we're going to make it a franchise, and we're going to do movies. On one hand, I was happy because I remember it's been a minute since I watched Knives Out, but I remember really enjoying it. I thought it was great. I didn't love it, but I thought it was really good. But I was also worried because me, cinema, theater, purist, elitist, if you want to go that far, these are movies I want to go see in the theater and then get it home. I didn't think it was somehow the idea of it being a streaming film brought the quality down for me somehow. But then the most amazing thing happened. The trailer dropped for Glass Onion, and what did they say? Limited theatrical run. If all of these future Knives Out mystery installments are going to be like, throw it in theaters for a week and then stream it on Netflix, cool, as long as I get my opportunity to see it on the silver screen. Director of Glass Onion, same director of the previous Knives Out mystery, Rian Johnson. I'm a big fan of his work. You go back far enough, this gentleman did one of my favorite science fiction films of all time, Looper. I know, it's not classic sci-fi, it's not old enough. No, Looper's fucking great. I love Looper. If you haven't seen Looper, watch it. And even a little bit of Star Wars, some point of contention here. I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I really liked Last Jedi. I don't think it's a perfect film. I'm not going to get into it now. I would have loved to have seen Rian Johnson do his own trilogy, then let J.J. Abrams do his own trilogy, and then we can compare. In terms of star power, we have the wonderful Daniel Craig returning to be Detective Blanc. Love the character. These films give me a same vibe as the murder films with Kenneth Branagh, the Agatha Christie ones, Murder on the Orient Express, and Death in the Nile. The difference is, I like these more than the Kenneth Branagh ones. I still like those murder mysteries because they feel more classical, I guess, like classic literature, but they take themselves a little bit too seriously. These, while still having those serious and heartfelt moments, and the murder is afoot, there's something at play, they also bring this wonderful comedy into the film that works really well in each case. So I just like the entertainment factor in these a bit more. I think they're a bit higher quality. I think they're all still, you always love watching a fun whodunit. We see once again, Janelle Monáe is back. I think I've made mention of her on my channel before. I love her, she's great. If you're wondering, oh, she looks familiar, I know that name, where have I seen her from? Most notably, I guess, you'd say the Hidden Figures. Another movie that I've been told is amazing, but I gotta watch it. But one that I did see, Antebellum, which I thought was a little bit overhyped, but I still thought Antebellum was also really good. I like how movies like this, a lot more movies are doing it these days, mostly blockbusters, but I like how big budget films like this will have quick little 5 or 10 second roles played by also very large actors that are just going to be in it just to kind of say hi and play a part, or even if it's just written off as a joke. I enjoy that. I think it's neat. It's just a little like, oh, who's who of who I recognize, and it's always fun to see. So getting into it, the whole premise is basically tech billionaire invites some of his influential friends to this island that also Benoit, the detective, gets invited to as well. Everybody's invited here to solve a mystery, and he says it's the mystery of his murder, but there's something deeper afoot here, and then perhaps actual murderous intent unfolds, and then the mystery goes on, all while they're trapped on this secluded, private, rich, mega mansion, Glass Onion Island. It's a whole thing, and that's the whole premise. I thought I knew what I felt after I walked out of this film, and then I've stewed on it for a day or so, and I have a different mindset now. This was really good. I am struggling to find flaws and faults, both in character, setting, direction, writing. Initially, there were a couple moments in the movie where I was like, oh, that seems out of character, or I don't know how I feel about this. But then stewing on it and thinking about it contextually, I'm like, oh no, all that happened makes sense, both in the narrative and for these characters. Everything pans out. Like, actually, that does make sense why this happened, and that scene wasn't as out of place as I thought. I gotta say, Rian Johnson is a brilliant director, and I think he shines the most whenever he's directing and writing. The writing in this film, it's one of those films where if you watch it a second time, this is no like Shutter Island level of like, oh my god, the nuances, but there's very, very, very clever writing and dialogue in this where you can catch a lot of shit on your second run through. If you haven't watched it yet, I challenge you, pay attention. Just pay attention to what's said, what's done. I don't know what it is about whodunits. I always feel like an idiot after them. I'm a relatively intelligent guy who can figure out plots and narratives, but I think my weakness in a whodunit is I pay too much attention to the people. I keep looking at the people and trying to read people, when really it's the environment, it's what's being said, it's the little things. So instead of overanalyzing what's being said and overthinking what's happening, I keep trying to piece together like, okay, who's where, who did this, who did that, when really the answer was just staring me right in the face the whole time. Like I said, it's been a minute since I saw Knives Out, but I'm almost pretty positive that I think Glass Onion is better. Not to say Knives Out is bad, but like I said, I'm struggling to think of where this film might have gone wrong. I don't think it did. And I was worried because when I first walked out, I didn't love it. But as I'm thinking about it more and more, I love it the more that I think about it. In terms of a film, quality of a film, it accomplishes exactly what it sets out to do. It's a very compelling, interesting, twisty, turny. It's a good story. I liked it. I liked the twists that happened. A lot of shit I didn't see coming, a lot of shit that I should have seen coming. The story all makes sense. The pieces by the end of it, even though they're all out there, they all miraculously come together by the end, and I'm like, oh my god, how did I not see I should have guessed that's what the puzzle would be. Performances are great, by the way. Every single person in this movie plays their character well into a T. They're all fun and varied in personality, but in terms of like the affluential people that are invited to the island, they're just it's a group of shitheads. I mean, they say as much in the movie. It's just a group of shitheads being invited to a tech billionaire's island, and it's great because this movie is coming out in the midst of all the Elon Musk tomfoolery. So you're really on the nose. You're like, okay, this probably wasn't intentional. Maybe it was, but I'm kind of seeing some similarities and patterns here. Am I not? It has some interesting things to say about society and people. I don't think it's too on the nose, because sometimes you have commentary like in The Menu. You have commentary about the rich and the affluential and high society, and it gets a little bit on the nose. And it's almost not preachy per se, but you're just like, all right, I see what you're trying to say here. This did a better job. While the characters are very over the top here and there, I think what the messages were trying to say was a bit more nuanced. So yeah, direction's great, writing's great, characters are great, characters are endearing. This movie, with its ebbs and flows, is done almost masterfully in terms of the comedy, the murder mystery, the serious drama. I wouldn't say it's scary, but there's moments of tension, definitely moments where I was like, okay, they're building up to something. I was uneasy. I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen then? What are we building up to? Who is it gonna be? Soundtrack, while being nothing remarkable, I do say the overarching theme in this movie, whenever a scene changes after a big dramatic reveal, it's this whole like like for it. It's a nice little like musical flourish I like. I thought it was a good length. I don't think any scene was ever wasted. I think some moments can get maybe I mean, you can make an argument saying some moments can get a little bit goofy, but no, I don't think so. I think, like I said, it all makes sense. It all fits. It's a solid murder mystery. It's a really good murder mystery, a really good whodunit. It's a fantastic movie. The more that I think about it, the more that I'd be down to see it again. Is it my favorite of the year? No, but the more I think about it, the more I loved it. I am struggling to find fault in this film, and it appears most people agree with me. I want to rewatch Knives Out to give a little compare contrast, but I think due to the success of Knives Out and the budget that had, then we got Glass Onion, and this clearly had a bigger budget, but I think it used just about every penny appropriately. But these are fun. I want to see more, and I think we're going to get more from the Knives Out mystery series. I love each movie's a different season, a different setting, new characters. Like I said, I'm down to watch Kenneth Branagh's super serious murder mystery as a killer is here. But I'm even more down to see Daniel Craig go around and be like, nah, I do declare. But yeah, I'll stop ranting and raving. Glass Onion, unfortunately, by the time that you see this review, probably will not be in theaters anymore. I would hard recommend seeing it in a theater if you are able to or given a chance. Otherwise, Netflix. Should be streaming right now. I'm surprised how many Netflix films I've covered this year now, come to think of it, but 100% worth your time. If you're like, what the hell's Knives Out? Watch it, double feature, back to back. Knives Out, Glass Onion, compare and contrast. Personally, from my recollection right now, I liked Glass Onion a lot more. The more I think about it, the more I love this film, and for that reason, I almost feel unsure about this. I feel like I shouldn't be doing this, but very strong 5 out of 5. I mean, it's kind of perfect. I'm really stepping on, I don't know if it's thin ice, or if I just am worried about the foundation of this particular room I'm in right now, but I can't find any faults. I'm sure there are if you dig deep enough, but everything plays its part. Everyone plays their part. Looks, sounds, great movie, fun movie, entertaining, good whodunit murder mystery. So yeah, Glass Onion, watch it, hard recommend. If you don't like murder mysteries, if you hate Daniel Craig or any of the actors on that poster, then yeah, I get it. You can I guess you could skip this one, but I would recommend it's 100% worth a watch. Thank you guys and gals so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode of whatever movie I review. And goodbye, travelers.